All right, so tell me about this new project.
The new project is pretty much my body of work for my album Seven, which I'm very, very excited about.
Does the name Seven have anything to do with it's been 7 years since you actually got signed initially?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for. It's actually my mom came up with it. We had a single release party and my mom had did like, her little speech. Everybody today, I'm proud of you speeches, and she was like, 7 years, this is completion, everything's finally coming together, and it kind of stuck with me because it really has been a journey the past 7 years of all the ups and downs, and now that everything's finally coming together, it makes sense, even with the album and the TV show, meeting Jordan, like these were goals of mine, these were dreams of mine, and it all happened within my 7th year of my journey.
Mm-hmm. Now, the album's on Good Music, but when I look through the track listing, the only Good Music artist I see on there is Pusha-T, which you were on Star Trek with Pusha-T as well.
Yes, I was.
Okay, so why no Kanye features, Big Sean features, Travis Scott features, etc., etc.?
I mean, I feel like that's what Cruise Summer was for. I feel like Cruise Summer is when we all kind of come together and, do dream collaborations. Like, we get to all work with one another. But as far as my album, my project, I kind of felt like I owe people a body of work from me. And I don't want a project filled with features and who's hot and who's this and who's that, So I try to keep it as minimal as possible.
I mean, a lot of times when you have a project that you've worked on for, a long amount of time like this, you have songs with other people that kind of, half finished, floating around, didn't make the cut, etc. I mean, do you have songs, that almost made the album with the rest of Good Music?
Yes, of course I had songs that almost made the album, but when it's crunch time, you got to pick and choose what's best for you and what fits. Especially if you're going with the theme of the album, it's just certain songs that just doesn't ride with the rest of the record. So it's kind of like you have to make sure everything is flowing the right way, flowing correctly.
Sure. Now Kanye showed up at your album release party.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Kanye speech?
I thought the Kanye speech was really, really touching. He had some really dope words. And, I was kind of like, when he first walked up, he had, he introduced me. And he was like, yo, T, how you feel? I'm like, this guy said, yo, I'm shocked you didn't go into a rant. And he was like, nah, trying to keep it cool because I don't need, what I'm saying? They calling me crazy. And I guess throughout the night, he just kept thinking about it because he randomly grabbed the mic and was like, look, I ain't get to get everything off my chest. And then he kind of went off. Like, I walked up and he already had the mic and he was just going off. And I was like, yeah. And, he just expressed how he felt. And it really, really meant a lot because when people are less expressive, like, and you're so focused on doing everything else, you're not really thinking about why they're less expressive or, what I'm saying? Like, why they are the way they are until they show that, until they express that. So him expressing that really, meant a lot to me.
Well, I've interviewed Talib Kweli before, and him and Kanye go way back. And the one thing he said about Kanye, which I found kind of interesting, was he said that Kanye is so passionate about, what he does, is that if you are not as passionate in your life, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I definitely learned perfection from him. Like, I learned that perfection is everything, and he won't give it to you until it's right. And I understand that. I get it. And that's why I respect him, because he definitely taught me perfection. So, with that being said, I definitely agree with what he said, because that's pretty much true.
When he did the speech at your party, he said that you were fighting the entire system.
Yeah.
What do you think that meant? And what did that mean to you?
It meant everything, because he was pretty much just saying, like, she worked her ass off and she fought the whole system and she got niggas to listen, and I think that was the most important part, because of the fact that, like he said, he's less expressive. So, hearing these things made me feel like I wasn't in the world by myself or just being delusional. Like, you feel like your shit is great and it's just like damn, if you're the only person that feel that way or see it that way, sometimes you feel like that's just you loving yourself. But then you realize that people, the right people, the people that you look up to, the people that, you're signed to feels the same way without you expressing that means a lot. Because it made me feel like I wasn't bugging out. I wasn't just, feeling like certain things. And that this project was really great. Like I really did have to fight the whole system, and I really did work my ass off, like in the studio. And, I had to make shit happen. Like shit didn't start getting popping until me and my team released Maybe. That's when everybody got up and kind of got behind the project. It was time to find that happy medium instead of, finding something that the label loved but you don't love it, or something that you love the label don't love it. You needed to find something that was, that happy medium for you, the label, and radio. And I felt like Maybe was that missile that was missing from the whole project.
Well, he said, one of the other things that Kanye said was that, this album is so R&B, so black, so hood, so missing and so necessary in the marketplace. I mean, would you say that this is a hood album?
Yeah, this is like, no, it's just when he say hood, so necessary, so black, so R&B is just the epitome of exactly what he said. It's just a little bit of everything, because I'm gonna give you that vintage R&B that I feel like we're missing now, but I'm gonna give you that Teyana Taylor edge. I'm gonna give you that Harlem edge. I'm gonna give you that street edge. Like I'm from Harlem, so it's just like I'm an artist, but I'm still from Harlem, and nothing's gonna ever take away the Harlem in me. So it's like that perfect balance in my music, because I'm hitting home. I'm hitting all the girls that can relate to me, but I'm still gonna give you that, that 90s, that classic shit that is very well needed, that sexy shit that's needed.
Now, how involved was Kanye in this album? I mean, because he's the CEO of the label, but how much work did you guys actually do together on this album?
Actually, not a lot. We did more work on Cruel Summer and Dark Fantasy than we did on our album, only because, when we're doing like a full album, like a good music album, that's when he steps in as a CEO and puts his 2 cents into things. But as far as us being individual artists, he definitely give us our freedom to kind of create. And I love creative space, creative freedom, and he gives that. And then it's like, once the album is done, or you feel like this is a done project, then you send it in. And it's kind of like he lights the candles on the cake. He lights everything. He lights everything off. So, if he like it, he like it. If he don't, he don't. And that's what I love, because he gives his opinions, and it's up to us whether we decide to take his opinion or not. But I value his opinion a lot, so I always feel like his opinions are really, really good. And I haven't really had a thing where I've sent something to Kanye and he hasn't liked it. So I feel like I'm kind of in the right place with everything.
Well, yeah, and when you talk about Kanye's opinion, I remember I interviewed Mike Posner a while back, and, he said that when he was actually coming up, he was doing some work with Kanye, and he asked Kanye what he thought about one of the songs that he did, and Kanye just said, I didn't like it.
Yeah, he is very blunt like that. But, I mean, that's where we're very alike at, because I won't even let him listen to something that I don't feel like is 100% dope. Like, I always want to send him something where he's like, okay, this record is dope, but I would like to hear more backgrounds, or I would like to hear more of this. Never really sent in anything that he just completely didn't like. I think my pride is already too much anyway. We're way too much alike for me to even try to play him some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when I played him the album, he was like, yeah, so, can I get a copy? And I was like, nah, let me make sure it's right. You know what I'm saying? But I learned that from him, because there's been times where we've been in the studio and I've done backgrounds on his records, and if he felt like that song wasn't 100%, he didn't care who it was. You wasn't even listening to the song. So I got that from him. I had to pull him on him. I was like, nah, just ain't right. But when it's right, you'll be the first to have it.